Over the weekend, Leslie Jones hosted the MTV Movie and TV Awards to mostly positive reviews. That night, Jones ended up taking home the award for Best Comedic Performance for her role in Coming to America. However, not everyone was pleased with Jones' performance. On Instagram, comedian Precious Hall accused Jones of stealing one of her jokes during Jones' monologue. Hall said, "I swear I've been chilling, minding my business, but nobody, including you, Leslie, has the right to take my joke and do it on MTV." Comedians stealing jokes from each other is something that isn't new and has been a long-standing issue behind the scenes in comedy. Today we've got our comedy hype analysts, Rita Brent, Capone, and Pierre on the show to talk about what's going on with Leslie Jones and what to do when a comedian takes a joke from another comedian. But first, let's take a look at this clip.
Mountain climbing and bike riding and surfing, unmatched. I don't care about your activities. What do your dick do?
Did she pay for that? Hello?
We got a lot of tattoos, bitch. She drive a real nice car. Who give a f*** what that dick do, nigga? That's what the f*** we really want to know. What that dick do? We gotta play all sweet and innocent and shit and go out with your man. I don't give a damn what you do. If you ain't putting it down, this shit ain't gonna work out. Y'all act like we didn't ask too many questions. We talk too much. You must talk too much too. Y'all ask a bunch of dumbass, miscellaneous ass questions and shit. Well, what's your sign? Well, what you like to do in your spare time?
Now, what you would see there in the clip is first a clip of Leslie performing at the MTV Awards, but then an older clip of Precious Hall with, on her shirt, WDDD, for that bit where she's performing that. So after seeing that, I'll start with you, Pierre. What are your initial reactions to that?
The joke is very similar, but it's also a phrase, though. Let's be real. What that dick do? People have said that. They said it to me. Women said it to me. They show them what dick do. They did it.
What you say? What you say?
Huh?
What was your answer?
Show and tell. Show and use. Okay.
Right. What about you? What was your initial reaction after seeing that?
The thought that came to mind for me was, first of all, when they started saying dick on MTV. Okay, that's number one. Number
that surprised
two,
me.
The term that came to mind for me was collective consciousness. As comedians, we're always talking about the same things because we're everyday people living everyday lives. As a comedian in the LGBT community, a lot of lesbians talking about, their experiences when they gave head, made the jaws hurt. Damn near every lesbian comedian talks about that, so it seemed like a collective consciousness thing to me as opposed to stealing.
That's a good point. Capone, what about you?
I agree with both of them. I think it was just, I've never known Leslie to steal anything. Most of her jokes comes from her energy and her experiences and how aggressive she is. And that's just one of her aggressive jokes, and nothing to take away from Precious, but I think that it definitely wasn't a stolen joke. Coincidence.
Now, it seems that, like I said, based on the shirt, it seems that, Precious took that's a part of her brand. I know she also mentioned that, there was some legality behind that. Now, I want to read Leslie's comment, her responding to that. So she starts off by saying, "First, if I have met you, I do not remember you, and that is the truth. I haven't been in clubs since the SNL and definitely since COVID. And if you think I'm sitting in the club clocking your joke, you are sadly mistaken. That is for lazy and untalented comments, which I am neither. I would have not made it this far doing like that. Now, comments write similar all the time. And what does your dick do is a saying. So you didn't trademark it if everyone is saying it. Also, again, if I even knew that was your joke, I would have not even went close to using it at all. That's not me. You can ask anyone. You think I want to sound like you or anyone else? No, I don't. That's why I am where I am. Now, you come on this platform and dirty my name like I purposely did your I understand you've been through and thought you couldn't just reach out to me about it. But just like you ain't scared to come to me, neither am I, because I worked very hard to get where I am. If I would have just reached out, trust me, this would have been handled so much differently. Comics write similar all the time. You calling me a thief, honestly, sweetheart, back in the day, them are fighting words. But that's not what should be happening. We two grown women that should be able to talk to each other instead of going online and bashing another black woman, because that's what this looks like." Then she went on to say, "Fighting over something that could have been settled peacefully and confidently, because again, I don't know you and definitely didn't know that's your joke. Something I wouldn't use again anyway. I reached out to you via DM, which is you have yet to respond to, but seem to have a lot to say to these people who don't know what's really up. It makes me look like you want to keep up the negative narrative to make yourself look like a victim. But I have work too. Hard for you to come at me with some bullshit like a sister. I've been a comic since 1987 and haven't been through the same multiple times. And it could have been handled totally different. Again, I apologize if you think I stole your joke, but that's not what happened. And nice to meet you too, Precious. Definitely a mouthful. Definitely took some time to say exactly how she feels, but it kind of speaks to some of the things that you said. After hearing that, do you think Precious responded in the right way? Because that was one of the things that, Leslie felt that she didn't take it, handle it the right way.
Well, I think Precious has a right to respond however she wants. I would not have done that because I'm a conflict resolution person. I have accused somebody of stealing a joke, and I have been accused of stealing a joke. So when I accused the dude of stealing my joke, I straight up asked him off the internet, yo, you doing my joke? And he was like, no, I made the same observation, same punchline, same setup, but I didn't steal it. I was like, fine, you can have it. I'll just write some more jokes. But when I was accused, the young lady went to social media and she had my number. And that was crazy to me. I'm like, well, we could have talked about this and I could have told her, I wrote this joke before I ever met you and I have proof because I sent it to my email, So that's how I protect myself. It's like a poor man's copyright. But as for me, I would not have taken it to social media just because I'm not in the business of burning bridges. But she has a right to handle it how she wants.
Pierre, what about you? Do you think she handled it the right way?
I don't have a problem with what she did. Now, if she truly believes she was the one that did it, now, would Leslie have called her up? Because she have reached Leslie and Leslie, hey, let's talk about it. Or would Leslie be like, bitch, come on, we'll keep it moving. Everybody says something. We don't know that. Now Leslie says that, well, yeah, you could hit me up. We don't know if it's true. Not saying it is. I don't know Leslie well enough to know what she'd do that now. I know Leslie as a comic. I know she doesn't necessarily steal jokes. I never heard her do anything steal. But then both those girls have the same energy. I know both of them, from comedy-wise. They're going to run around the same stuff. They talk about fucking, sucking, dick, and the whole bravado is the same. So, but that young girl, and remember now, if she wouldn't have said nothing, and she doing that joke was put on national television. It's not somebody you see somebody in the club doing your joke, you say, let me holler at you, but on national television. Now, that's her saying, and she probably identifies with that whole thing. If she goes around and says that, how would you think she feels? Like, girl, you doing Leslie joke, you doing MTV shit, you doing Leslie joke in the middle of your state. How you think she gonna feel? Like, well, I mean, I didn't do it. Well, you bring it out here, boom. Sometimes it goes like that. But that's only if it really was stolen, and I don't think Leslie necessarily stole it. I think they have the same kind of thing. She just came a little later. Leslie maybe came later. Now the girl had it before, and that's all. But I don't have a problem with her putting it out there. How else would she have? Now, if you want to say this, all comics, we hit you in the DM and you'll respond. So if I hear Eddie Murphy doing my joke, you will hit me in the DM. I'm hit you in the DM, you will respond. Who else is out there? Cat Williams, you will hit me in the DM. If all that happens and we cool with it, then I'm fine. I want to go out in public.
Have you ever experienced anyone stealing your joke?
Shit, I'm a genius with this, of course. The hell, I do genius jokes. Yes, I do. A particular comic I did something on Comic View, and then they did it on Comic View after me. And when I went to the venue to watch the taping, comics was saying, yo, so-and-so did it. I was like, what? And I know the person, and he's not my boy, my homie. And I waited for it to come out, and I saw it, and I was like, okay, it was. I approached the comic, and he actually paid me for it. And I lost that joke. I don't do that joke anymore. And, here it is. I'm a good writer. I think I'm a great writer. I'm going to keep writing. But I don't want to keep having to write because everybody's doing my material.
Right.
I was one of the first ones to come up with that saying, blacks, I remember from my era, blacks and the difference between blacks and niggers. I used to do it at the Comedy Store all in the early 90s. Once Chris Rock did it, I had to stop because I didn't want people to say, oh, you're doing a Chris Rock joke. He was too big with it.
If somebody beats you to the punch, if you have a bigger platform, you know what I'm saying, then what you supposed to do?
That's what the girl just did. Precious, she beat her to the punch.
Capone, I want to come to you. Did you think Precious handled this the right way?
No, I don't. I don't think she handled it the right way because to me, it looks like she's actually looking for attention for everybody. If she did the joke, the joke is a joke. People have tried to steal my style, my whole style. It's as comedians out there, they see you and they do things. And yes, there is similarities. There's some big names of guys who saw me on Def Jam and thought they can get away with it. And I've approached them. I've approached several of them for stealing my jokes. I've been accused of stealing jokes because of somebody saw that and be like, oh, he did this. I'm the first person to come out with, yes, sir, on Def Jam. And then everybody else started doing it. And it's a thing where, I'm a street dude and I'll approach you. And, we can talk about it. I'm not trying to fight you, but I'm going to let you know, yo, that's my bit. And I've had to do it several times with several guys that have been way up there. At the comments, there are a lot of people who you can see that Precious depends on that joke. To me, to go out the way she's going out. I think I met Precious once or twice, but when you have a strong name like that, sometimes you got to just take it as as somebody, a compliment. That's the way I look at it. Jokes, if you're a writer, you're a writer. And people know, how you say authenticity?
Authenticity.
Yeah, but that street dude didn't take it as a compliment. That street dude didn't take it as a compliment. He approached people. He didn't say, man, it's a compliment. So you approached
No, I
people
did.
when
You're
they
right.
did
But I've grown, and there's just
she ain't
people
grown
that
yet.
some of them you just can't control. And I'm gonna just be honest with you.
Right.
Now, I think another part that comes into it, could it possibly have been, writers? Because I know, Leslie is responding, she's saying, I would have not chosen to do that joke. So do you think it could have been, maybe it was the writers who wrote this joke for her, being that she was on a bigger platform? I'll start with you, Rita.
Could be. I mean, it's all kind of material out there. You have people taking quotes from memes and turning them into jokes. That's not their stuff. Mm-hmm. So, there's no telling what kind of research the writers did, and it was an MTV production. Right. So, yeah, she had writers and they had a script prepared. So that's possible too. But like Capone said, if Leslie does not have a reputation from her peers as being a joke thief, then I don't think that's what this is.
Right. What about you? Especially since you've been on those bigger platforms, are writers typically involved in that?
Yeah, I mean, they are. And it could have well been a writer that wrote that joke, or it could have been her just doing the joke because she felt that, it's similar. They're black women, they're the same, like I said, they're the same genre, they're doing the same style and everything. So, of course, it could be the same. So that's all it was. But, Precious just felt like, hey, this joke identifies me. I've been doing this joke long enough. You're putting it on a bigger platform. It's different when, I'm telling you, it's different when a comic does your joke at a club than does it on national TV. If I have a bit about being shot at McDonald's and Eddie Murphy does it, and then all of a sudden, I can't do the joke no more. I mean, do I just say, hey, it is what it is? Thank you. No, these jokes are our babies. Right. People don't realize our children, man. We nurture these things, man. And we don't want people out there stealing them. I won't steal nobody. I refuse. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have jokes similar to people because we grew up in similar kind of situations, but no. I don't think she stole it, and then, she don't seem that, Leslie's not that type, and Precious went out and said, hey, I don't care if you did or didn't. I feel you stole it, and I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah, and I think for me, the only reason why the thought came to my mind about writers, because in Leslie's response, she didn't really give a backstory to, how she created it or like her process. So it could very well be that writers were involved, in dealing with that, especially being someone from the outside looking in. But I appreciate you all for giving your input. You heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. After seeing this clip and the information that you have, do you think Leslie stole Precious Hall jokes? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
Don't forget to put it in the comments.
Come with the facts.
Protect Black culture.